Word. Welcome to Fresno City Toastmasters, everybody who may be watching this on Zoom. My name is Chanel West, and I'm the current club president. As always, I'm going to start us off with our mission statement to help remind us of why we gather here once a week. Our mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, which should result in greater self-confidence and greater personal growth. I'm going to give out a couple of announcements. I think most of us are already aware, but the next club dues are going to be due on September 30th. So Toastmasters, the dues are due twice a year, and for the fall, they're due by September 30th. So if you're planning on continuing in the club, they will need to be paid. And Joey, what are the payment methods again? They can pay on PayPal.
Yeah, so I will, maybe in the next week, maybe next meeting or so, I'll share the link, the PayPal link that people can pay through. So if you wanted to pay through card, and I think we decided on our normal dues are $60 twice a month, but because of the whole COVID thing and realized some people are out of work and stuff like that, so we reduced it down to 50. So we dropped it by $10. So I think our stance is, if you can give 60, please give 60. If you're working and this is like a little bit more normal for you. If not, and you can only give 50, please give 50. So either way is fine. I'll be giving 60, just to help the club. But just to let you know, for those, like, I don't know if Kalani knows this, but our normal dues that go to the Toastmasters International, which is the umbrella company that all these districts and clubs are all underneath, they get $45 of that 60. So by reducing it down to 50, we only get $5. So unfortunately, Toastmasters International never discounted their stuff. They expected us to do it for everybody else, which is fine. But just so you know, if you can give 60, give 60. If you can only give 50, give 50.
Yes. Denise, I am recording. I think maybe I forgot to say it out loud, but I did hit record. Okay. Thank you, Joey, for explaining that. I also just wanted to put out a reminder for people who are working on speeches or trying to figure out the whole pathways thing. If you need any help at all or would like to enlist somebody on the board as a speech mentor for you, we are totally available for that. I know that Kalani is going to be giving her first speech today. Yay, yay, super excited for that. So we are here to help and ask all questions. You guys have my email, and please use it if there's anything that you need. Also, for our agenda today, Farron's not going to be able to make it, and so Storm said he would be off counter, so we still need a timer. If somebody could take over for that. Joey?
I can do that.
You're able to be timer? Okay,
yep.
Thank you. And we didn't have anybody down for grammarian, but I can pencil myself in for that. I looked up a word. Okay. All right, with that then, I'm going to pass the podium over to our Toastmaster today, who is Denise. Please welcome Denise.
Thank you, Chanel. I will be the Toastmaster for today's meeting. My job is to MC, kind of set the tone at the start of the meeting, introduce our theme of the day, and then the most important part is I get to introduce our speakers, which is exciting for today because we'll have somebody doing their first speech. Our theme for today is there's an app for that. Now, I think I've shared before that I'm not a huge techie. I do like my apps though on my phone and on my iPad. There's a lot of entertainment, I guess I should say. I have a routine in the evenings, the end of the day, and I want to unwind. The two apps I probably use the most are, and I'm going to admit this for the first time, I play about 20 minutes of Candy Crush every night. I've never paid for anything. As soon as my lives are over, I'm done with it. But that the routineness of that, I don't know what it is, but it just kind of like having a puzzle. It sort of puts me at ease. And like most people in the world right now, I added the app TikTok on my phone over the summer. And there are a lot of very talented people in this world, funny people, knowledgeable people. I've learned a lot of life hacks. It's got some dark sides to it, but it's an app where you can kind of keep that stuff off of your thread. But so if you don't have it and you're just looking for some entertainment, there's some funny people on there. And that's it. That's really all I have to say about apps, because I don't know how they work. I don't know all those ins and outs, and I just am a user of them, and I think they're great. I think technology is great. So with that, I'm going to introduce to you our general evaluator for today, Denny Mason.
Hi, everybody. If you hear a little dog in the back or a loud dog, I ask your forgiveness in advance. Okay, today we have an evaluation team, and this is what we do in Toastmasters to get better. Our first person is a grammarian. That will be Chanel today. Will you explain that to us, Chanel?
Yes, thank you, Jenny. I am the grammarian today, so that means two things really. One is that I will present a word of the day, and it's a challenge for us all to try to incorporate that word into our speeches, our table topics, whatever it is that we may be talking about. And then secondly, I will also be watching for general use of grammar and correct word usage. I did put our word of the day in the chat box. The word that I chose is trademark because our theme for today, there's an app for that, of course, is an Apple saying from the first decade of the early of the 2000s. I don't know exactly which year, but it was a famous line that they had in a commercial, and they actually trademarked the expression so that nobody else can use it. So our word today, trademark, is a name, symbol, figure, letter, word, or mark adopted and used by manufacturer or merchant in order to designate specific goods and distinguish them from those manufactured or sold by others. Or it can be a distinctive mark or feature particularly characteristic or identified with a person or thing. Like you could say, her trademark is that she's very witty, or her trademark is her great sense of humor. Those are acceptable usages as well. So word today is trademark. I will be listening out for that. Thank you.
Thanks, Chanel. Appreciate it. And of course, my trademark is always, oh, my turquoise earrings that I don't have on. Okay. Today, our counter was going to be Farron. Who did we decide would step in for her?
Storm.
Okay, Storm, will you tell us about that, please?
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. I am your not Toastmaster of the day. I am your counter of the day, and my trademark is a baby whisperer, if you know me. So I will be listening for ums, ahs, and so on, and I will keep tabs of how many times it's used and who used them, and I will give a report at the end of the meeting.
I like that, baby whisperer. Very nice. And our Zoom master today is Chanel. Will you tell us a little bit about that responsibility?
Yes, don't forget the timer though.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I'm Zoom master for today, so I will be recording the meeting and uploading it to YouTube for other people to watch. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And how about you, Joey? You're going to tell us about being the timer.
Thanks, Denny. And one of the trademarks of Toastmasters is the timer. So the people that talk too much, this guy right here, and then those that don't talk enough, trying to get them into a landing zone of timing. And Kalani's going to be giving her icebreaker speech, which is 4 to 6 minutes. So we'll be timing her and then timing myself as evaluator, 2 to 3 minutes. And then our table topics today will be 1 to 2 minutes. So I will be timing everybody.
That's great, Joey. How will we see that on our Zoom?
Good question. So I will hold up the app, try and get it to where this little circle right here. I'll try and not get a glare here. You'll see a color. So you'll see green. So if like for Kalani, green at 4 minutes, it'll turn yellow at 5, and then it'll turn red at 6. So you have like a leeway of 30 seconds before the 4 minute and then 30 seconds after to be able to wrap it up. So you'll see that on the color here. So Kalani, make sure that if you got this on your screens here, you see all of our boxes at the top, hopefully, then make sure you can see my thing up there before you start speaking.
Good. And then will our Zoom master lock you in on that screen as well? Yeah. All right.
Locked and loaded, Chanel.
All right.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. I will do that.
And I'll turn this back over to our Toastmaster, Denise.
Thank you, Denny. Today is an exciting day because we have a first-time speaker, which is always a great thing. Kalani Young is a first-time speaker. She'll be giving her icebreaker speech today. Kalani joined Fresno City Toastmasters in May of this year, and her speech is titled, "Why I'm Here." Please give a warm welcome to Kalani Young.
There we go. All right, Joey, you ready? I'm on my phone, so I can't really see your screen.
Yes, I am. Go for it.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Kalani Young, and my speech is called Why I'm Here. I would like to preface this by saying that this is not going to be a super formal speech. That's not really my style, nor is it going to benefit me in my career going forward that we'll touch base on. Instead, this will be more of an informational powwow about who I am, why I'm here, not only in Toastmasters, but why I'm in this stage in my life. In order to talk about where I currently am, we're going to need to get a couple steps back to last year. While most people were hoarding toilet paper, buying masks, or fighting masks, I saw this global pandemic and thought to myself, you know what? This is a perfect time to quit my day job. And that's exactly what I did. Most people may question this and be like, Kalani, is this a quarter life crisis? And I will not answer that question. But instead, I will say, for those of you who are getting your introduction to who Kalani Young is, I can assure you that this is the most Kalani Young thing I could possibly do. I was in a super nice, high-paying job that, truthfully, most people my age wouldn't even be considered for. I hope you don't see this as me being cocky, but it is really important to understand when I discuss a conversation between myself and a peer mentor. A peer mentor was someone in our company, pretty self-explanatory, that is of equal status, that would show you the ropes of the company, introduce you into the company culture, and so on. I will start off by saying that this individual does not represent the entire company culture. I will say that this individual was at least 10 years older than I was. I will say that I received a variation of this speech from more than one individual within this company. This speech went something about how this was the best job that I was going to get, that this was the most amount of money that was going to have the largest impact in my life, and striving for more would just not be worth it. And better yet, and I have this quote on a sticky note on my vision board next to my bed, that people who leave this company, the most that they amount to is becoming a DM, a district manager, for a storage facility. This rubbed me the wrong way for two reasons. One, our title, our benefits do not make us any better than anyone else. And two, who are you to tell me what I can and can't do with my life? Hence why I now work for myself and am in the business of owning several storage facilities. While I'm in Toastmasters, although this job gave me a ton of opportunities, and essentially owning in on a skill set that I didn't know was unique to myself. It did omit a skill that I was rather comfortable with for most of my life, and that was communicating. I'm in a real estate investing realm that is no secret to be a male-dominated industry. I don't have the opportunity to be timid. In the real estate investing realm, we've coined the term, your network is your net worth. And being a part of masterminds, you have to give you have to give presentations on projects that you're constantly working on. Things that I am no longer comfortable as I used to be doing. Essentially, I'm in Toastmasters to regain the confidence in hearing my own voice. I know this job and this career choice that I've chosen for myself is going to be really uncomfortable, as I'm staring at a very small screen here and trying to stay still as someone who's very expressive. But I can assure you there probably won't be many more uncomfortable events that I face in my life than sitting in the passenger seat of a very small car being told what I can and can't do with my potential. That being said, I would like to reinstate that these sequence of events, in my opinion, are really, really special to me, because it changed the course of my life, not to prove a point to my past peer mentor or anyone else, but to myself. And that is to not predetermine what my potential is and not let anyone else tell me what it is, and to see what I'm able to do. And that's why I'm here.
Great job. That is an incredible first speech, Kalani. You really should be proud of yourself. You did a great, I'm not your evaluator, so I won't go there, but kudos. You did a great job, really great job. It's always good to get to know people. So it tells me a lot about yourself, and that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, Kalani's our only speaker for today, so we are going to move on to table topics, and our table topics master for today is Chanel West.
Thank you, Denise. Hello, everybody. I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm going to be the table topics master for today. I will let you guys know straight off that you're getting off easy, because I was thinking of doing a non-visible table topics today and just making you guys choose a number and then being unsure what question we're going to get. But I decided instead to put all of the questions in the chat, which they just came through right now. However, everybody can only choose one question to answer. So if somebody has gone before you and they've already answered question 2, then question 2 is off the table and you are not able to choose that question to answer, for example. This is somewhat of an incentive. If there's a question on there that you really want to answer, or that you think will be easier to answer, then you should volunteer to go first. And as table topics master, I actually get to go first. So the questions today are all around our topic, which is apps. And when I say app, it can be an app that is on a phone, which is probably the most commonly thought of, or it can be an app that is on a computer, because an app is an application and they exist on any technology device. I think I'll go through and read the questions just to make sure that everybody is seeing them before we begin. Number 1 is, if you could invent an app for computer or phone, what would it do? Number 2, consider the pros and cons of constantly available technology. Do you think it is worth it? Number 3, what is an app you would recommend to others? Number 4, name at least one way that an app or apps have made your life easier. Number 5, name at least one way that an app or apps have made your life more difficult. Number 6, what are your strategies for limiting technology time? Number 7, if you could only use 5 apps on your phone computer, which 5 would you choose? That's really hard. And number 8, I think, is kind of fun. If you had to survive alone on an island for 1 year, but could bring a phone with only 3 apps to use, which 3 would you choose? I'm going to answer question number 3 to start off. So question number 3 will actually then be removed from the question list. So whoever is timing me, you can time my table topic now. What is an app that you would recommend to other people? One app that I have and really enjoy using is called the All Trails app for hiking. It's basically a database of all hiking trails around the world that they're listed according to location, and there's a lot of filters so that you can search for hikes based on the length of the hike, the elevation gain of the hike, the location of the hike, obviously. And it's also a peer-reviewed app, so people who have actually done the hikes are able to give feedback and post pictures, make comments saying, okay, I went a couple of weeks ago and the trail conditions were like this. There were a lot of bugs, or it was really wet, or it was beautiful and perfect, and this is a great time to go hiking. That app has really helped me because I can sit down and say, okay, I have time on Saturday. I want to do a 7-mile hike, something moderate, and I can look up 7-mile hikes or something in that range in Sequoia National Park, and it will show me all of the hikes in that area that are available. So if anybody likes to hike or even just walk, it has all lengths of trail walks and different walks in it also. It's a really good resource for finding something that really fits your needs and for the time space that you have. So I would recommend the All Trails app. Okay. That concludes my table topic. So would somebody like to volunteer to answer one of the other 7 questions that have been posed? Denise or Denny? Your thing says Denise's iPhone, sorry.
I respond to Denise as well.
Okay.
I'll go with the one, and I'm sorry, I don't have the number right in front of me, of making my life easier.
Okay.
And I'm in photography, as you know. So there are so many apps for photography. It's awesome. There's a lot for retouching. And I've kind of been waiting for things to get sophisticated enough that they can take over from some of the programs that we have, like Photoshop, things like that. Because of course I use Photoshop every day, a lot of time during the day, and I'm very familiar with that. So I know all the things that can, maybe not all the things, but a lot of the things that can be done in there, and the things that I need for retouching, which is the big reason that I use Photoshop, because I make everybody look perfect. So now I can use a professional camera, I can use my cell phone, and I can use a small camera when I photograph a wedding, for instance. I use anything I can take a picture with. I don't resist anything. And in fact, if people want me to take pictures with their cell phone, I'll do that too. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm taking the picture as long as I end up with it. And on apps, there are, I know you recommended an app, but I found I've got a few really good ones. One is Snapseed, which is great for editing photos. But one that has come along really well for retouching is called Lensa. And I finally did a professional job where I took the pictures and I added them into Lensa. And I was actually able to do most of the retouching in that app, and then save them to my phone and send them on to the client. And it was really quite good. I liked very much the editing that was done for the retouching on that. It doesn't do everything. Like I can't really push somebody's waistline in a little bit, which I to be able to do, or fix like this bump on my head in Photoshop. I could just go like this and it would be perfect. So I haven't found a program yet that does that, but I will. It's coming, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Those sound like neat apps. I took a Photoshop class last year, but pretty much the extent of my abilities are left to me being able to get rid of the glare on my glasses and my acne. And that's pretty much all that I've done with it. So the question that Jenny used was number 4. So 3 and 4 are off the table. That leaves 1 and 2 and 5 through 8. Storm, did you raise your hand?
I volunteer for the
Okay.
next.
Go for it.
Okay. So today I was really thinking about it because there's so many apps. So which ones would I use? Which one would I recommend? Which one am I going to use on the most? I was looking at number 8. If I was going to survive on an island for an entire year, this was a very big struggle because since I'm on an island, first of all, there's already 2 apps I'm going to have. That's Audible and YouTube, because YouTube, you learn how to make and build everything that you need to do. And then Audible is one of those educational things as well. The third app was very interesting because I would want to, I still don't actually have one. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to be bored. So, well, as long as I got my education and my entertainment down, what else would I ever want? So the last one would be Discord to talk to people. So Audible for teaching, YouTube for education as well, and Discord to talk to people from all over the world, because that's what I actually do from time to time. I feel that connection is one of those big things, and Discord is something that everybody has access to, and it's something that will be able to have great laughs and people can video share as well. It's very versatile.
Thanks, Storm. I was curious where people would take that question. I didn't put a lot of parameters in it, so I was wondering if people would say like Grubhub, so I can order food to be delivered to me on the island. But that's probably not very realistic. So 3, 4, and 8 have been used. Who would like to go next to answer one of the remaining questions? Denise?
I think I will respond to question 2. Consider the pros and cons of constantly available technology. Do you think it's worth it? I actually did a speech on this thought about how we are led to believe that we are multitaskers. And really, when it comes down to it, it's not possible. You're going to lose your attention in some area. And in today's world, we are so distracted by news, social media. There is just a constant influx of information, data, negativity that can really affect a person's mental health, physical health. So it's really important to make sure that you've allotted time away from all of those technologies. I think technology is amazing and it's incredible. And when I think about the things that I can do on my phone, how easy it is for me to bank, how easy it is for me to fill my prescriptions, how easy it is to stay in touch with all of my kids at the same time in 3 different states or cities. It just blows my mind. I'm one of those people who did not grow up with this. And so for those of you that are younger and it's just a normal thing, it's not. It's amazing. I'm still amazed at that we fly in an airplane. We get in a seat and we go in the sky and we fly in an airplane. But I think it's just important to have the technology that is helpful to you and remove the apps that are not, that cause you any kind of problems.
Good advice, thank you. And which number question was that? No, you were doing 6 or you were doing 2? You were doing 2, okay.
Sorry, I was muted. Chanel, sorry.
Oh, you're good. All right, so we have Joey and Kalani left.
I'll go.
Okay, thanks, Kalani.
of course. Let me pull up the chat here. I'll choose number 8. If you had to survive alone on an island for what, or excuse me, number 7. Has that one been used?
7 has not been used, no.
Okay. Number 7, if you could only use 5 apps on your phone/computer, which 5 would you choose? For the purpose of just kind of the generality for this question, I will keep it non-industry specific. And the 5 apps that I've narrowed it down to would, for one, be my Gmail. Most of my communication day to day with other investors, brokers, sellers, all that good stuff is through my email. I'm someone who's very organized and I need a paper trail. So being able to have that in certain folders makes my day to day a lot easier. And for someone who has a lot of anxiety, I can sleep at night. The next one would be the podcast app. I am an avid learner. I've actually adapted to listening to podcasts while I cook, while we travel. It is an endless supply of knowledge and I love it. The third is my everyday messenger app. I need a way to contact my family at all points in time without having to pick up a phone. It's really convenient for me when I have my Apple Watch and I'm on the phone with the seller and I need to go pick up my son because he's having a runny nose at school. I don't have to hop off the phone to get in the car. So that makes my life a lot easier as well. The fourth would be Audible. I've always loved Audible. I've always loved reading books physically. And recently, in order to increase the amount of knowledge I consume in a day, I've actually learned to combine the two, thanks to suggestions from my boyfriend. So what we do is every morning when we wake up, we download our new book on Audible and we'll read the physical copy at the same time that we're listening to the book on Audible on either 2.3 speed, something that we would listen to faster than we would read ourselves physically. And that way we're able to consume more knowledge faster. And that's been our secret hack into crushing the amount of books off our wish list in a year. The last would be Google Chrome. I am probably the queen of asking the most random questions and I need answers to them immediately. So Google Chrome is my Achilles heel when it comes to the most used apps, just because it's used for mostly nonsense in my opinion, but great conversation topics.
Thank you. That was very thorough. Email would definitely be my number 1 too. I think that I would get rid of my messaging and phone app before I got rid of my email. Okay, Joey, you are
Turn.
last man standing.
All right. Was number 1 still available?
Yes, number 1 is available.
Number 1, if you could invent an app for computer or phone, what would you do? Now, some of you heard me talk about this last time. I think the 2 words, effectiveness, doing the right things, and efficiency, doing those things right. I think that would be a great app. Maybe it'd be called Effective Efficiency, something like that. And basically what it would do is, you've heard me share about Total Recall, the book Arnold Schwarzenegger put out, and he outlines 3 steps to getting what you want. One is you create a goal, you have a goal of doing something, you map out the steps, and then you do the reps. And I think essentially what this could do is could be an AI thing, artificial intelligence, but you would put in all that information. There would be also experts that would put in information on those different steps. So it could maybe fill out some of it if you don't know what all the steps are, or maybe you know the 4 or 5 main points, but then there's some other little ones in there. And it would tell you every day what are the right things to do. Like, what do you need to focus on today? Say you got a project, Kalani talks about real estate. Well, buying a house or buying a condo or buying a business or buying a storage unit there's multiple steps to that. There's paperwork involved. There's putting in an offer. There's management of it. So maybe it could be as complex or as simple as it can be, but it gives you suggestions on what you need to focus on so that you don't get drowned in what we call the fog of war, right? You have all this smoke from bombs and from the enemy or whatever. And instead of getting lost in all that stuff in that chaos, that it can keep you focused on what you're trying to accomplish, the goals, the steps, and just doing the reps to getting it done. So that's the kind of app. If I could invent that, that's what I would do.
Hey, Joey, quick question. Do you have a trademark for that idea yet?
I do not, but I wouldn't mind partnering on it if you're.
Very good, very good. Okay, thank you everybody for participating. That will conclude our table topics for today. And I'm going to pass the virtual podium back over to our general evaluator to announce the speech evaluator for today. Please welcome Jenny.
That was so much fun. Good job on those, Chanel. Joey's going to be evaluating Kalani's speech today. Joey?
Thank you, Denny. Let me pull up my notes here. It's always fun to get that first icebreaker speech. And I know Kalani's been with us for a little bit, so it's not like she just joined. She's not fresh off the boat yet from yesterday, last week or whatnot. So she's been with us for a while. I know she had a little bit of a break during the summer. And I just wanted to talk about what she excelled at. So she talked right off the bat, talking about quitting her day job because of the pandemic. So she's using honesty and emotional bridge to the audience. So some audience members, that is really going to resonate to, like myself, and there's going to be some that it's not going to resonate with as much. And that's okay. And we've talked about that here, about there's some people that like to take those kind of risks and there's some people that don't, and either way is fine. But I like how she jumped right out with that. Many of you saw the great smile that Kalani has. She brings what I call, and I have a couple of friends like this, I call this dragon energy. It's called dragon energy, where they come right out, boom, and they tell you what it is, how it's going to be, and what they're going to do. And she's got that kind of energy, sarcasm, humor, which I love and appreciate. She's got, we learned that she's got a strong female energy as well. So dragon energy doesn't have to be male, it can be female as well. She shared that she's got a trailblazer mentality, again, getting out there right ahead of things, telling all of us how she is. She explained why she's in Toastmasters, and that being communication and polishing up on that. Great hand gestures on camera. And also that's the good, and there's also the bad to that we'll get to in a little bit. Standing while speaking. Were you standing that whole time, Kalani? Yep. So she did that on camera. That's a big one. And then were you using notes at all? No notes. Beautiful. Yeah, I don't think I saw her glance down at all. And you weren't using notes that were like right here, but hidden where we couldn't see them?
No, you'd be able to see all my glasses, so I wore them.
Ah, there you go. Boom, boom. Yeah. So I thought there was a lot of great stuff in this first one, and definitely Kalani came out, and you could see she wasn't timid about what she was doing. So a couple things to work on, and these are a little bit more advanced because Kalani's obviously a little bit farther along than some of us when we first came in. Sometimes, so I mentioned the hand gestures. So sometimes too many hand gestures can be a bad thing. So I always talk about the Goldilocks golden rule, right? So you got the porridge that was too hot and the porridge that was too cold, and Goldilocks like the porridge that was just right. And I have a little bit of Italian in me, so we this kind of stuff. The hand gestures are good, but they're even better when you're a little bit more conservative with them, but use them when you're creating a point. When you're really trying to drive a point home, that's when you want to really use them. We always say if everything's a unicorn, a pretty unicorn, then nothing's a pretty unicorn, right? So if you're using this all the time, we're all just watching your hands doing this, and this. But if you a little slower, and then when you want to prove a point, go fast, that kind of thing. So that's something maybe to work on. Background in the video. Now, this is going to depend on who you're doing a speech with or you're doing a proposal for on your background. Now, this background here for Toastmasters for me is okay. In some of the podcasts that I do, this is okay. But I know I've been the fan Kalani's got in the background. I was scolded by multiple, Denny being one of them, because I used to have it to where you could see the fan blowing in the back. That was distracting. So things like that, just to think about when we're on camera, is something to look at. And then challenging yourself, again, just going back to the hand gestures. goes a little slower. And then when you want to prove a point, fast. Draw our attention to that point, to your words, drawing your attention there. And then the lighting, one other thing. So lighting, I think you got great lighting, but as Denny might be able to, she's the smart one on this one, maybe a little bit more overexposure on your lighting to give you a little bit more, bring a little bit more of the color of your face in. Again, I'm not an expert on lighting. Denny could probably be better at that, but just an observation that I found. But I would say, I'll tell you what, I can't wait to hear some more speeches from you, Kalani. I think we're going to get a lot of cool knowledge and be educated on a bunch of different subjects. And I just can't wait. I can't wait. So great work.
Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you, Joey. And Joey, we're just going to come right back to you for a timer report.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that?
I'm ready. Once I got my daughter, I'll grab her after she's asking me a question. She's being very patient. Thank you. I actually didn't, I'll skip the evaluation of myself because I didn't start it until probably 2 minutes in, and I went 2 minutes. So what do you think? Probably like 4 or 5 minutes. Unfortunately, good thing we didn't have another speech. I would have taken too much time. But let's start with Kalani's speech. She went 4 minutes, 50 seconds. So great, right in the middle. Table topic, Chanel came in at 146. Perfect. Denny, 205. Great. Storm, 127. Awesome. Denise, 134. Awesome. Kalani, 251. Her and I think, are going to be the ones that are going to talk a little bit too much in this group. We have to be the ones that have to rein in a little bit. And then I came in at 144. And like I said, I didn't get my evaluation, but I give you the facts. I started about 2 minutes and I just stopped it at 206. So it was probably about a little over 4 minutes. So that's my timer report.
Thank you, Joey. Storm, are you ready for us? You're going to give us our counter report.
Yes, I am ready.
Okay.
So Kalani, awesome speech. We had one that I caught, and I might have gotten one myself. And that's it for now. Everybody else did good.
Good. That's pretty good statistic. Janelle, you're our Zoom master. Do you have any report for us? Is there a report on Zoom master?
If there is, I have not done one before and I'm not sure what to say.
Okay.
I don't think it's on the agenda.
Okay.
Well, reporting on.
Then.
Okay.
Which is you.
Oh yes, sorry, you broke up for a moment. Yes, I will give the grammarian report. I believe that we all used it except Denise. Did I miss you, Denise? Okay. So Denny, you used it in reference to your turquoise earrings. You said trademark. Storm, you referenced your trademark whisper voice, which I can relate to that. I also have a bit. Joey talked about the trademark timer of Toastmasters. I mentioned it in my introduction to the table topics, and Kalani snuck it in right at the end there, asking about Joey's app. So good job to all of us on using the word.
Thanks, Chanel. Our overall meeting went really well. We started about within a minute of our normal time, and we all enjoyed listening to Kalani's first speech. That was great. We don't have a big room of people today, but we filled all the roles, which is great. And I think we're running right on time. So I'm going to pass it back over to our president.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny. Yes, we might be small, but we are a mighty group when we all come together. So I'm just going to give awards to everybody for shout outs. Good job to us all, especially good job to Kalani on your first speech. I think that you did a really good job. You have a very confident personality, most definitely, and that comes across in your speaking. So I don't have any comments. I know that Joey and Denny and I are going to be meeting tomorrow to check out a possible location for our in-person meeting. So that is exciting.
And everybody's okay on that 10:30?
Yes, 10:30.
Well, that wasn't me. It sounded like an airplane going by.
That was on.
Well, now she muted or so.
I'm not sure I have an address for our location tomorrow. Maybe you could text that to me.
Yeah, I'll text it. I think Mike, he had emailed back, but he might have just responded to me. So I'll make sure. Chanel, did you get that, or was that just to me? The
With
email?
the address, I got the address, yeah.
Okay. So I'll text it to you, Denny.
Thank you.
I'll text it to you. Yeah. But in general, it's Sunnyside and Herndon, Sunnyside, Herndon area. And then it's south of Herndon. And there's the big park there. It's like a business area over there, business industrial complex area. And there's that big giant park that's right across the street that you see a lot of people playing cricket over there. So it's like right in that area. So just as a general conceptual, that's where it's at. And then I got this, so we'll bring this so we can test it.
Sunnyside.
Yep.
Okay, and Denny, are you planning on bringing the rest of the equipment, the stuff you brought last time?
The whole office.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay, with that, we can go to filling out the agenda for next week. I know Sarah is going to be doing her practice for her executive director speech at their banquet. And Denise, I also have you down for giving a speech. Does that still work for you?
Yeah. You have Sarah under Toastmasters, so is that just a placement error?
Yes, I just
Okay.
noticed that actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a placement error. She's going to be speaking, so I'll fix that when I resend
Great.
out the agenda today. Thank you for bringing it up.
And then I'm gonna, since I've got a role, I'm gonna step off, but if there's a little filler role the day of the meeting, I can always volunteer Chanel. So thanks, guys. I gotta get back
Denise.
to work.
Thank you.
We'll see ya. Thank you.
Okay, I'll volunteer to be Toastmaster next week. Can we have,
You can put me in general evaluator, Chanel.
okay. We also need 2 speech evaluators.
Denny,
Let's do Denny. Storm, are you planning on being here?
you're muted, Storm.
You're muted.
There he is.
Should be. I've been working nights, so this is actually, I should still be asleep right now, but
Okay.
yeah. I should be here.
Do you want to do the table topics? I know you were going to
Sure.
do it a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
Okay. Put you down for that. And Kalani, are you planning on being here?
Yes.
You want to do timer, Kalani, timer,
I can do off
Mary?
count.
I'll counter.
Awesome. Okay, I can put myself in as a secondary evaluator if we need to. All right. That is all then. So it's 12:55. We can end the meeting 5 minutes early if after saying hello to Storm's cute daughter.
That little.
She's been asking to say hi for a while.
Hi.
Hello. What's her name?
What's your name?
Violet.
Ooh,
Violet.
pretty name.
That's a cute name.
Daddy's got to keep you from
Want to
dating.
know what my mom's name is?
What?
Laurel.
Laurel? Oh,
So you
Cute
both
too.
you're both
My
plants.
mama's name is Irma. Irma's my grandma.
oh, pretty.
Mhm.
Daddy's got to keep you from dating until you're 30, okay?
Looking like
A blonde, blue eyes and stuff like that. This is gonna be
Irma has 3 dots. But now there is a dog that's named Buffy that.
Mm. Very nice.
But there's 2 more dots that are named Mila and Baby.
Pretty.
Mila right.
cute.
Mila bites if you do it at her too fast.
so she's a little bit stuffed. She's been sick for a couple weeks now.
Mhm.
Sucks.
I know.
But yeah,
She's in good hands, Storm.
always,
Nice
always.
to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to
Violet,
meet you.
Would you like to adjourn our meeting? Can you say meeting adjourned?
Meeting adjourned.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good
Bye, guys.
week.
See you guys next week.
See ya.